lives and in our personal lives, which we need to remember. When it comes to injustice, we are in the realm of religion. And religion exists to remind us that there is a God. And for Christians, that God sent his son Jesus. Why? Not for us to sit in church and have team conference. Not for us to have fashion shows. But Jesus came to teach us how to fight injustice and to make a way for the least of these. Religion is not just an opportunity to feel good, although it feels good to feel good. Amen. It does. There's nothing wrong with a good shout. Everybody say amen. There's nothing wrong with a good song or two. There's nothing wrong with that. And after you sing, and after you shout, and after you shundo, and all that stuff, you need to have something in you to take out the fight with which to fight injustice. Religion is a fueling experience. We can feel good, but only when we are fighting the injustice that makes so many people miserable. Religion equips us with what we need to fight the Goliaths that are always there in the way to fight. I don't know why God didn't make life just a little bit easier. Why God didn't make everybody act right. Why God didn't make everybody treat everybody right. God didn't do that. And so the building then is not the church, but we are the church. And God equips us. God put us here so that we can fight the injustice, so that we can do that. That's why we need religion. God gave us Jesus for us to study Jesus and to see like Jesus sees. Jesus is not an advocate for injustice. No. Jesus is the role model for how to live in an unjust world. Jesus teaches us that if you want to follow me, what do you have to do? Deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. That's what Jesus did, and that's what we have to do. Jesus fought injustice tooth and nail. He went up against the government, and he went up against the church. We are supposed to study Jesus and remember what we have studied so that we are equipped to fight injustice like Jesus did. This week, the United States Congress wanted to cut the funding for Planned Parenthood. I was so ticked off. I get confused because I was talking about that we don't need big government, but then when it comes to women's bodies, big government is all here. And I want to say, okay, I'm not politically astute, but something is wrong with this picture. How can you not want big government? But when it comes to my bedroom, and when it comes to something I need for my body, you're going to tell me what I can do. Can you? I would live it all before. Well, the defunding didn't pass the Congress, thanks be to God, but states are defunding it. And what's going to happen is that poor women, the women who need help, breast care, screenings for breast cancer and OBGYN exams and birth control pills, hello, all of that stuff they're not going to be able to get as easily because these chumps who say they do not believe in big government are big governing themselves into the lives of people. And it makes it that we are sent here to fight stuff like that. Let me tell you something, that when you fight stuff like that, you are not popular. When you start talking about injustice, you are not popular. What the powers that be want us to do is to sit down and shut up. Just take it. If you don't like it, talk. That's what they want us to do. As soon as we start talking about what you're doing is wrong, then they will be all up in our faces. Religion is supposed to give us the chutzpah that we need so that when they come up in our faces, we can stand right there and look them right back in the eye. States are cutting funding for Planned Parenthood, and that means that poor women will not have access to health care. And let me say this, just because you're not poor today doesn't mean you're going to be poor tomorrow. Let's just be clear, because the economy is all jacked up. So you might have a little piece of health insurance today, but you might not have it tomorrow. And so the injustice that we're fighting is not just for the people over there, the injustice that we're fighting is in our own living rooms as well. We have to remember that. We have to remember that, but for the grace of God, we're okay today, but we might not be okay tomorrow. And we have to remember that not everybody has the things that we take for granted. We have to remember that if good people remain silent, evil spread. We have to remember. There are plenty of social issues we need to remember, and we need to not back away from them in favor of just going along to get along. Donald Trump is an issue. Now, I want people not to take him so lightly because we took Ronald Reagan lightly. He was an actor. He just said he did he not get elected. He had 2 terms and he ruined the economy for most of the people. He wanted to trickle down economics by foot. He definitely did anything to help anybody. But we didn't take him seriously. We need to take this guy seriously. Why? that you put the woman down. They don't care if he talks about John the King, who's a war hero. They don't even care if he says he doesn't seek God, he doesn't seek God's forgiveness. There's a problem here. We have to remember what happened with Ronald Reagan. Don't play him lightly. He represents the way a whole lot of people in this nation think. We are supposed to remember what he proposes doing on so many levels will mean that a lot of people will suffer injustice, which means that we have to be on the battlefield now. We have to be registering people to vote now. We have to be talking to them now, not the day before the election. We have to be talking to them now to express to them how vital their votes are, because this guy is a dangerous, dangerous person. We are called to remember so that we have the energy to fight. In our personal lives as well, we have to remember, we can't keep doing same old things and expecting different results. Can't keep saying the same things, can't keep doing the same things, can't keep going to the same places, can't keep hanging out with the same people, can't keep accepting the same abuses we've suffered and think that everything's going to be better. By and by does not mean I have to be stupid. And accepting things and doing the same things over and over again goes into the realm of stupidity, personal stupidity. It's not going to happen. Things are not going to get better if we keep doing the same old thing. We have to remember that in holding on to things, onto people, staying in situations which are not good for us, we are separating ourselves from God, which means then that we are in sin, because a sin is anything that separates us from God. I always say this, when I was a dancer, I had to lose weight, a whole bunch of weight. And back then, I really liked potato salad. I could eat some best potato salad, I'm just saying. And I could eat, how Caroline could eat like a whole thing of Dutch oven of macaroni and cheese. I could eat a Dutch oven of potato salad. But I couldn't do that as a dancer. So I was an apprentice with the Dance Theater of Harlem. And we rehearsed until the sun came up, until the sun went down. We rehearsed all day, and those rehearsals were, we had classes, rehearsals. And the rehearsals were brutal. But in some of those dances, the guys had to do lifts. Let me tell you something. They will embarrass you. They will say, what the hell did you eat last night? They will say that. So in order for me to be able to do dances and not be embarrassed, I had to cut back on the potato salad. And I had to eat apples. I put apples in place of potato salad. But why did I do that? Because I had to do something different so that I would get different results. We have to sacrifice when we're doing something different. We have to sacrifice, knowing that the sacrifice will lead us to the place where we want to be. We have to remember what God has taught us in the Bible.